we're now going to add the beams. So here it says we need to add a steel MW wide flange. So if it's not yet loaded, we need to load that. We're going to position the beams at the appropriate level on as shown in the sample drawing package. And beams may require a Z offset, and we're going to show that later. So let's first go here and go to the level where we are going to be adding the beam. So for this one, let's go to the top of steel warehouse. So we're going to start there. Top of steel warehouse. Now, we cannot really see the walls. So in this scenario, we would like to go to our, sorry, this is a ceiling plan. So what we want to do is we want to go to the proper view. So top of steel warehouse. There you go. So this is where we're going to be adding our beams. But somehow you might want to see the wall as well. So you can do that here by going to, not selecting anything. You'll see the floor plan here, and then go to the underlay. Now you want to maybe see the second floor, right? That will be the base, range, top level warehouse, and you want to look down, okay? So let's see if that will work. Yep, it did work. So you're guided by this underlay. Now make sure you turn that off when you are maybe printing or if you do not need it. In this case, we do need it. We're now going to add the beam, again under structure, select beam. And for the beam, the required is to add a W wide flange. Now, further to that specification, we're asked to add a specific, or nope, doesn't say here. Let's go to our drawing set. And here we can see that the wide flange should be 360 in depth. So let's check if we have that loaded. So we're going to select a wide flange that is 360 in depth. I think this one is good, 360 by 51. And we can always change it even after we have added or built this into the structure. So 360 is good for now. Otherwise, you can always load and make sure you are in the proper folder. In this case, it will be structural framing. And then we want steel. And then we'll select the MW flange, open. And you'll see here, again, a lot of selections available for you. So we're looking for the 360. Okay, so if you don't like the 51, which is already loaded, 360 by 51. Is it 51 or 5 by 1? It's 51, right? 360 by 51. I guess it's somewhere here. Yeah, here. You can load another type, right? And you'll see here the different specifications, the width, right? EW and all this. So when a structural engineer specify any of this value, make sure you look for that specific beam. Okay. Like I said, I'm going to use the 51, 360 by 51, but just for this purpose, let me load a smaller one, like a 44, 360 by 44. Okay, so 360 by 44 is now loaded. I'm still going to use the 360 by 51, or let's use a 44. Now, here, we're going to say on grid as well. And what will happen is that each of the beam will be created. Now, the only thing is, let's see what will happen if we simply do the on grid. What type of grid or beam length will we get? So we'll say select the grids. In this case, I just want to select this grids over here and maybe this grids over there. Okay, we don't want to select the grids on the or at the office area. So let's say finish, save project, save the project when prompted, and go to a 3D view. Okay, so I think it did it quite well, but unfortunately, it also did this, right? So not as what we wanted. So in that scenario, we might need to select some of this and delete them. So let's do that here. And using that technique, I'll select all of this, filter, check none, and then simply select the structural framing. Okay, apply, or click OK, and delete. Or I could actually have maybe, instead of deleting that, maybe change the reference to, it's grayed out. So it doesn't want or not allowing me to change the reference level. That's okay. I'm just going to delete. There you go. Now I do need, in this case, I do need beams over here. So let me go back to the top of steel warehouse. Okay. And I'm in the ceiling plan. So let me remove that. Top of steel warehouse. Okay, that's where I want to be. And unfortunately, I might need to see also what's happening in the three-dimensional view. So what I can do is I can remove this views here and then type WT so I can tile the two. Okay, WT to tile the two windows. Okay, so in this case, I can see where I need to add the beams. So I'm going to add it somewhere here. So again, beam, and then on grid. Okay, select this grids over here and click finish. Now, unfortunately, or is it unfortunate? No, I think we're good. Yeah, I think we're good. Except for this ones here. So again, I can select those, filter, check none, just select the structural frame, click OK, and delete. So that's one way of doing it. right? Deleting the ones that are not needed. Now, I think we're good. Did we duplicate any? Right, let's click this, delete. Nope, nothing duplicated. So select this, delete, and Control Z. So nothing is being duplicated. Okay. Now, that's how you add grids or beams. Now for this one, oops, I think we added one here. So we can do that. We can leave that there and then add a new one at the top. Maybe that will add support, but I think in this case, it might be just a little bit over. So what we can do is simply delete this beams over here. There you go. Okay, so that's adding the beams at the office or warehouse area. Now, we do have to change the offset for either the vertical or the beams that's going along this way or this way. And why do we need to do that? If you look at the drawing set, I notice that we are going to be adding some beam systems. And these beam systems have a, let's see if we have a section here, have a shoe that is placed on top of the beam. I think we can see it here. So let's zoom in. There you go. So there's a shoe. Let's zoom in further. Now what's happening is that you want the, let's zoom in a little bit more. There you go. So you want the shoe to be on the, sorry, on the beam, but then you also want the top of the joist to be level to the beams that are parallel to it. That is why we are lowering the beams that are supporting the beam systems. So notice how this is a little bit lowered. Okay. Something that we are going to do, or that's what we're going to do next. So we're going to check. I think if this is the floor plan, our beam system will be going in which direction? This way, right? So it's going this way. That means we need to lower the beams that are along the wall here and these ones as well. We need to lower those by the height of the shoe, which is 63.5. I think you can see that here. Height of the shoe is 63.5. So that's what we're going to be doing next.